Okay, hello everyone. I'm going to give you a review of graded potentials in a nutshell. Remember, if you have a good understanding of resting membrane potential, then you can think about the ion gradients being potential energy. And when new channels open or leaky channels close, it will change the charge across the membrane. For graded potentials, we are either at the dendrites out here, or we could be at the cell body. Usually I demonstrate these at the dendrites. A graded potential is a change in charge across the cell membrane due to ligand-gated channels. And sometimes I abbreviate that LG for ligand-gated channels. The dendrites and the cell body, to some extent, have ligand-gated channels. This means that you have a channel, for example, a sodium channel that is normally closed, and it will be opened when the proper ligand binds to it. This ligand is a chemical key, for example, which is floating around out here in the extracellular fluid. When it binds, the ligand binds to the channel. It acts as a key to open the gate. So we are going to call this channel a receptor because the ligand binds to it. In other words, this protein is two things at the same time. It is a receptor because it receives the ligand, and it is a sodium channel because when the channel is open, sodium will be the proper cargo to flow from high to low through this channel. Step 1, the ligand binds to the receptor channel. Step 2, the gate opens. And step 3, the sodium moves from high to low. Now when the sodium moves into this channel, into the cytoplasm is a positive coming into the cytoplasm. So the response inside the cytoplasm will be moving from a negative to a more positive. That is depolarization, making the inside of the cell more positive. Remember, at rest, the resting membrane potential is -70. When it becomes more positive, this is called depolarization. What we have done is caused the inside of the neuron to become depolarized. That is how we say that. The other kind of graded potential you might see is a hyperpolarizing graded potential. For example, a ligand-gated potassium channel. So over here the gate will be closed. The ligand is a chemical key that binds to the receptor channel, causing the gate to open. Potassium flows from high to low. This is potassium leaving the cell, which causes the inside to become more negative. So what we will see is if the inside was at rest and it becomes more negative, that is a hyperpolarization. Do not confuse the chemical key, which is the ligand, acting to open the channel, with the ion flowing through the channel. The ion is a charged particle. So when the channel is open, the ion flows, it changes the charge across the membrane. Here, the ion flowing is a positive leaving the cell, making the inside more negative. Hyperpolarization. Here, the ion flowing is a positive coming into the cell, making the inside more positive, a depolarization. These are very short-lived because when the ligand leaves that binding site, the channel closes and there will be no more ion flow. Graded potentials can be big or they can be small. Depending on the amount of ligand you have binding to the ligand-gated channel. More ligand, here the green triangle, opens the gate for longer, which makes the ion flow more, which makes your depolarization more. The other thing about graded potentials is their effects travel through the cytoplasm. And as they travel through the cytoplasm, this will be a negative effect because it's a hyperpolarization. The effects diminish over distance. So way out here at the dendrite, where you have the cause of the graded potential, because that's where the channels are located, where the ligand binds, will cause hyperpolarization. As that negative effect or negative current travels through the cytoplasm, it will diminish over distance. So when we measure it down here with our electrical probe, it might be very small hyperpolarization. Those are two features of graded potentials. They can be big or small, and the effects diminish over distance. A few other examples you might see. So you might see a ligand-gated chloride channel. Remember, chloride ion is high outside the cell compared to low inside the cell. You need to memorize this. And when the ligand binds to this channel and opens the chloride channel, it means that chloride is going to flow from high to low down its concentration gradient, making the inside more negative because chloride is a negatively charged particle. So that's also going to be hyperpolarization. You can also have calcium channels, which are ligand-gated. For example, a ligand binds out here. The ligand is the chemical key, and the chloride is the ion that will flow from high to low. Here is a calcium ion, and it will make the inside of the cell more positive, causing depolarization. So these are some examples. Sodium channel, calcium channel cause depolarizations. Potassium channel and chloride channel both will cause hyperpolarization. The graded potentials can be very numerous. The average number of places on dendrites of one neuron, which can be, or cell body, which can be receiving ligands to open ligand channels is 10,000 locations. And all of their effects will trickle down, basically adding up together to the site which we call the axon hillock. And at any moment in time, what will be a certain voltage. If that voltage is minus 55 millivolts, then it will open the voltage-gated channels, which are located here. And that causes an action potential. So the positives, which are being caused out here, trickle through the cytoplasm, decreasing in strength, are called excitatory. And that's because the axon hillock has a goal of reaching minus 55 millivolts, which is depolarized or up from rest at minus 70. The hyperpolarization is inhibitory because those are negative effects, which would be making it less likely that the trigger zone or axon hillock would be reaching negative 55. Keep in mind, at rest throughout the entire neuron is negative 70 inside the cell compared to 0 outside the cell. So to get from negative 70 to negative 55 at this location is a depolarizing effect, meaning we need to bring this more positive. That's what we call it excitatory, because the voltage-gated channels will open at minus 55 here. And throughout the entire axon, starting at the axon hillock. Okay, that's it for now. We'll move on into action potentials now.